What if the one food you threw out of your diet to protect your health, the one your doctor warned you about, the one the government told you was dangerous, the one you have been avoiding for years, is actually the single most powerful testosterone-supporting food a man can eat? And what if every single morning you skipped it or threw away its most important part, you were quietly starving the very hormone that controls your energy, your muscle, your drive, and your manhood? Because today the 40-year lie gets exposed. The science has changed. The guidelines have been quietly walked back. And the truth about eggs and testosterone is something that is going to make you genuinely angry. And then genuinely hopeful. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at an egg the same way again. And you will never throw away the yolk. I'm Dr. Christine Rodriguez, and this is Men's Vitality Hub. This channel exists to give men like you authentic, valid knowledge about your health. Not trends, not fear-based headlines, not oversimplified advice. Real science explained clearly so you can make informed decisions that actually change how you feel. That is what we are here to do. So let's get into it. Before we go any further, let me tell you exactly what this video is going to give you. Because I want you here until the very last word, and I promise every section is going to be worth your full attention. First, I'm going to explain what eggs actually contain and what they do inside your hormonal system at the biological level. Then, I am going to walk you through the specific, documented benefits of eggs for testosterone, the ones backed by real research. Then, I am going to be completely honest about the side effects and the concerns that do exist, because intellectual honesty is the foundation of real health guidance. Then, I am going to show you how to prevent those side effects so you get all the benefit with none of the risk. Then I am going to tell you who should be careful with egg consumption, specific health conditions where the conversation changes, and finally, the section most nutrition content never gives you. I am going to show you exactly how to eat eggs to maximize their testosterone-supporting potential, step by step, with precise, practical detail. Every section matters. Do not skip ahead. Let's start at the very foundation. With the molecule that connects eggs directly to testosterone, and that has been the center of one of the most damaging nutritional controversies in the history of medicine. That molecule is cholesterol. Here is what most men were never clearly told, and what changes everything once you understand it. Testosterone is made from cholesterol. Your body cannot manufacture testosterone without it. The Leydig cells in your testes, the specialized cells responsible for producing testosterone, take cholesterol as their primary raw material and, through a series of precise enzymatic steps called steroidogenesis, convert it into testosterone. No cholesterol available equals no testosterone manufactured. It is that direct, that fundamental. Now think about what happened to an entire generation of men who were told, by their doctors, by government dietary guidelines, by every mainstream health voice, to eliminate dietary cholesterol from their lives, to throw away the egg yolk, to choose the egg white omelet, to pick the low-cholesterol breakfast option. These men, following the best advice available to them at the time, were systematically removing from their diet the primary raw material their bodies use to build their most important male hormone. And nobody connected the dots. The cholesterol heart disease hypothesis that drove this advice was built primarily on research from the 1950s and 1960s. Research we now know was deeply flawed, selectively presented, and in some cases influenced by commercial interests. In 2015, after decades of telling people to restrict dietary cholesterol, the U.S. Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee quietly removed the specific numerical cap, acknowledging that the scientific evidence did not support the restriction. The American Heart Association updated its position. The research consensus shifted. But the cultural damage, the deeply embedded fear of the egg yolk, persists in the minds of millions of men who are still making hormonal decisions based on guidelines that have been officially walked back. This is not a minor nutritional footnote. For men like you, who are serious about hormonal health, understanding this history is the foundation of making better decisions today. So let's talk about what a whole egg actually contains. Because when you see the full nutritional picture, you will understand why this single food is one of the most complete hormonal support packages that nature has ever produced. A single large whole egg contains approximately 186 milligrams of dietary cholesterol, the raw material for testosterone synthesis. It contains 5 grams of total fat, including both saturated and monounsaturated fat, both of which are directly associated with higher testosterone levels in research. It contains 6 grams of complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids, and it contains a remarkable collection of micronutrients that are each directly relevant to testosterone production: zinc, vitamin D, selenium, B vitamins including B12 and riboflavin, and choline. This is not a list of incidental nutrients. Every single one of these plays a documented role in male hormonal health, and they are all present in bioavailable form in one whole egg. Now let's go through the specific research-backed benefits of eggs for testosterone, because the science here is both clear and compelling. The first benefit is direct testosterone precursor supply. We have already established that testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol. Research has confirmed that men who consume higher amounts of dietary cholesterol and saturated fat have measurably higher testosterone levels than men on low-fat, low-cholesterol diets. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that men who reduced their dietary fat intake experience a significant reduction in testosterone. A review in the Journal of Steroid Biochemistry documented a consistent positive association between dietary fat intake, particularly saturated fat, and circulating testosterone in men. When you eat a whole egg, you are feeding your Leydig cells the cholesterol they need to run their production line at full capacity. The second benefit is zinc-driven testosterone protection. Zinc is one of the most critical minerals for male hormonal health. It is required for the enzymatic processes that synthesize testosterone, and it acts as a natural inhibitor of aromatase, the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. Men who are deficient in zinc show significantly lower testosterone levels, and supplementing zinc in deficient men produces measurable testosterone improvements. Eggs contain meaningful amounts of zinc in a highly bioavailable form, and consistent egg consumption contributes to the zinc status that protects testosterone from aromatase-driven conversion. The third benefit is vitamin D-mediated testosterone stimulation. Vitamin D, which functions more like a steroid hormone than a traditional vitamin, directly activates gene expression in the Leydig cells that upregulates testosterone synthesis. Research published in Hormone and Metabolic Research confirmed that men who supplemented vitamin D showed significantly higher testosterone levels than a placebo group after 12 months. Pasture-raised eggs are one of the few natural dietary sources of vitamin D, making them uniquely valuable for men whose vitamin D status, and therefore whose testosterone production, is being limited by insufficient sun exposure. The fourth benefit is selenium's role as a testosterone cofactor. Selenium is a trace mineral that serves as an essential cofactor in the testosterone synthesis pathway and plays a critical role in sperm production and male reproductive health. Most men do not get adequate selenium from their diet. Eggs are one of the most reliable and bioavailable dietary sources of selenium available, another layer of hormonal support that comes packaged within this single food. The fifth benefit is the choline advantage for hormonal metabolism. Choline, a nutrient that the majority of men are chronically deficient in, supports liver function, and the liver is the primary site of hormone metabolism and clearance in the body. Adequate liver function is essential for healthy estrogen clearance, ensuring that estrogen does not accumulate and create the hormonal imbalance that suppresses testosterone. Egg yolks are the single richest dietary source of choline available, providing a level of liver and hormonal metabolic support that no other common food matches. Still with me? Good. Now let's talk honestly about the side effects and the concerns that do exist around egg consumption, because I am not here to give you a one-sided story. The first concern is cardiovascular risk in specific populations. While the research has largely exonerated dietary cholesterol as a primary driver of cardiovascular disease in healthy individuals, the picture is more nuanced for men with type 2 diabetes or existing cardiovascular disease. Some studies have found that high egg consumption in diabetic men is associated with modestly increased cardiovascular risk, likely due to differences in cholesterol metabolism in the context of insulin resistance. This is a genuine concern for a specific population, and it matters. The second concern is oxidized cholesterol from improper cooking. When egg yolks are cooked at very high temperatures, particularly scrambled in industrial seed oils or fried until the yolk is overcooked and broken, the cholesterol in the yolk can undergo oxidation, producing oxysterols that have pro-inflammatory properties. This is not a reason to avoid eggs, it is a reason to cook them correctly. A point we will cover in detail in the how-to section. The third concern is the quality of conventional eggs. Factory-farmed eggs from hens fed exclusively corn and soy diets have a different nutritional profile than pasture-raised eggs, lower in vitamin D, lower in omega-3 fatty acids, and with a less favorable omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. For men whose primary goal is hormonal optimization, the source of the egg matters alongside the egg itself. Now, how do you prevent these side effects? How do you get all the hormonal benefits of eggs while eliminating the risks? This is the section that turns the information into a strategy. The first prevention step is choosing the right eggs. Look for pasture-raised eggs, not free-range, not cage-free, not natural. Pasture-raised means the hens spent time outdoors on actual pasture, foraging on grass and insects, which dramatically improves the omega-3 content, the vitamin D levels, and the overall nutritional quality of the egg. Brands like Vital Farms are widely available across major grocery chains. Yes, they cost more, but the hormonal return on that investment is significant. The second prevention step is cooking your eggs correctly. Low to medium heat preserves the integrity of the cholesterol in the yolk. Gentle scrambling, soft boiling, poaching, or cooking sunny side up with the yolk intact are all methods that minimize cholesterol oxidation. Never scramble eggs at high heat in a non-stick pan with industrial seed oils. Cook them in grass-fed butter, ghee, or extra virgin olive oil over medium-low heat. This single change eliminates the oxidized cholesterol concern entirely. The third prevention step, for men with diabetes or existing cardiovascular disease, is working with a physician to determine an appropriate intake level and to monitor relevant cardiovascular markers. For these men, the conversation about eggs is not avoid completely. It is manage thoughtfully with appropriate medical oversight. The fourth prevention step is balancing egg consumption within an overall anti-inflammatory diet. Eggs eaten alongside vegetables rich in antioxidants, omega-3 sources like fatty fish and walnuts, and fiber from whole foods create a dietary context that supports healthy cholesterol metabolism and minimizes any inflammatory risk associated with dietary cholesterol. Now let's talk about who specifically needs to be careful with egg consumption. Because for certain men, the standard guidance needs to be adjusted. Men with 2-type diabetes or insulin resistance should approach high egg consumption with more caution than metabolically healthy men, and should monitor their lipid panels and cardiovascular markers in the context of their overall dietary pattern. The research on eggs in diabetic populations is less uniformly positive than in healthy populations, and individualized medical guidance is appropriate here. Men with a rare genetic condition called familial hypercholesterolemia, a hereditary disorder that causes abnormally high LDL cholesterol regardless of diet, are more sensitive to dietary cholesterol than the general population and should discuss egg intake with their physician specifically in the context of their condition. Men who are already consuming very high amounts of saturated fat from multiple sources, processed meats, full-fat dairy, and eggs in large quantities should consider the cumulative dietary fat load rather than eggs in isolation. The research supports eggs as part of a healthy diet. It does not endorse unlimited consumption of every saturated fat source simultaneously. Now, the section men like you have been waiting for. Exactly how to eat eggs to maximize their testosterone-supporting potential. Precise, practical, step by step. The first step is setting your daily target. Research supports 2 to 4 whole eggs per day for most healthy men as both hormonally beneficial and cardiovascularly safe. A 2020 meta-analysis in the British Medical Journal reviewing data from over 107,000 individuals found no significant association between consuming up to 1 egg per day and cardiovascular risk. More recent research in healthy populations has been even more permissive. For men who are specifically focused on testosterone optimization and who are metabolically healthy, 3 whole eggs per day is a strong starting point. Providing adequate cholesterol for testosterone synthesis, meaningful zinc and vitamin D, and complete protein for muscle support. The second step is timing your egg consumption strategically. Eat your eggs in the morning, as part of your first meal of the day. Morning is when cortisol is naturally at its highest, and a protein and fat-rich breakfast stabilizes blood sugar, blunts the cortisol awakening response, and sets a hormonal tone for the day that is favorable to testosterone activity. Men who skip breakfast or start their day with carbohydrate-heavy foods miss the opportunity to anchor their hormonal morning with the nutritional support that testosterone synthesis needs. The third step is building the right plate around your eggs. Eggs consumed alongside testosterone-supportive companions create a synergistic hormonal effect that far exceeds what eggs alone provide. Add half an avocado, monounsaturated fat that further supports testosterone synthesis, and potassium that supports adrenal health. Add a handful of spinach or arugula. Leafy greens contain DM, a compound that supports healthy estrogen metabolism and clearance, protecting free testosterone levels. Add smoked salmon or sardines 2 to 3 times per week. The omega-3 fatty acids in fatty fish reduce systemic inflammation and support the hormonal environment that testosterone production requires. Black coffee alongside this meal is fine. Caffeine has been shown to acutely increase testosterone in the short term and does not interfere with the hormonal benefits of this breakfast when consumed in moderation. The fourth step is cooking method. And we covered this in the side effects prevention section, but it bears repeating here because it is that important. Grass-fed butter or ghee over medium-low heat. Yolk intact or gently scrambled. Never high heat, never industrial seed oils. This is the difference between eating cholesterol that supports testosterone synthesis and eating oxidized cholesterol that creates inflammation. It takes the same amount of time. It just requires knowing why it matters. The fifth step is tracking your response. After 4 to 6 weeks of consistent whole egg consumption, 2 to 3 eggs daily, cooked correctly, eaten in the morning with testosterone-supportive companions, pay attention to your energy levels, your morning drive, your workout recovery, and your overall sense of vitality. These are the real-world hormonal signals that tell you whether your nutritional strategy is working. If you want objective data, a morning testosterone blood test before and after this dietary change will show you in numbers what the biology is producing. Let me bring everything together, because I want this to land completely. The story of eggs and testosterone is ultimately the story of a 4-decade nutritional mistake that cost men something they cannot get back. Years of hormonal support that they actively removed from their diet because they trusted advice that the science has since walked away from. That mistake is correctable. Starting tomorrow morning, you can put 2 or 3 whole eggs, cooked in butter, served with avocado and greens, on your plate, and give your Leydig cells the cholesterol, zinc, vitamin D, and selenium they need to produce testosterone at the level your body is capable of. No prescription, no expensive protocol, just a whole food that human biology has been using for the entirety of our existence. Imagine this. 2 men sit down to breakfast every morning. Man A has an egg white omelet cooked in vegetable oil with whole wheat toast and orange juice, following the advice he has heard for 20 years. Man B has 3 whole eggs cooked in grass-fed butter with half an avocado and a handful of spinach. Same morning, same intention to eat well. Completely different hormonal outcomes. The difference accumulates over weeks, months, and years into measurably different testosterone levels, different energy, different body composition, and a different biological age. The only thing separating these 2 men is what they know. Now you know. Stop fearing the yolk. It is the raw material your testosterone has been waiting for. The egg is not your enemy. It never was. It is one of the most complete, most affordable, most hormonally powerful whole foods available to men like you. And it has been sitting in your refrigerator this whole time, waiting for you to stop throwing away the best part. Feed your body what it was designed to use, and watch what it was always capable of building. If this video changed the way you are going to think about your breakfast tomorrow morning, if you are going to crack those whole eggs and keep the yolk, please hit that like button right now and subscribe to Men's Vitality Hub. Every week, this is exactly what we do. Real science, honest guidance, practical knowledge for men who are serious about their hormonal health. And before you go, tell me in the comments, how have you been eating your eggs? Whole eggs or just whites? And are you going to change that after today? Drop your answer below. Because your response might be exactly what convinces another man in this community to finally give his testosterone the raw material it needs. Thank you for watching. Eat the whole egg. I will see you in the next one.